Ciao, what's up everybody? We're on Wind Way. Beautiful afternoon here. It's trying to rain, but it hasn't. This video is going to be, is the housing market in Vietnam currently overpriced? And I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. We're mainly going to talk about Saigon because that's where I'm at. When we do go to Da Nang and other cities, we're going to start investigating prices of apartments so you can have a handle on that as well. It's something we haven't done, which we will do. I've got plenty of friends in plenty of different cities here that will actually provide me with room and board. So I'm able to go to these places pretty affordably now. We might even pop into some city in the next week here. Who knows? Keep your eyes peeled to the channel. Of course, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button all to see all my adventures in Vietnam and around the world. Also like, comment, and all that jazz if you want to do that. If not, no big deal. Keep her moving, eh? So, as we know, I'm moving. I'm leaving Golden Rivers. And as so, I've been looking at housing in pretty much every district. And let me break down the pricing. So, in Golden River, it's exploding. It's to the point of where it's a little insane. This is why I made the video a few months ago to rent your apartment there then, because the pricing was much more stable. Since even that time, in the 2-month time period, just as checking on apartments there, just for research purposes, I found around 15 apartments trying to rent a 1-bedroom for $1,200, like literally $1,200. Before 5 months ago, you could rent a 2-bedroom for $1,000. If you look at my first apartment there, that was $1,000 for a big, I think 75-meter, 80-meter 2-bedroom apartment on a high floor. High floors are almost impossible to get now. If you can find a high floor, it might even be $1,300, $1,400 for a 1-bedroom apartment. Now the inventory is starting to grow as of now, because guess what? That is way overpriced. Those 1-bedrooms are not worth $1,400, $1,100, $1,200, $1,300, even $1,000. At most, maybe if you had a baller finish, like walls finished. Sometimes they put marble or some really expensive walling up. Maybe if you had that on a top floor, $900, maybe I could see. But even that is incredibly overpriced. So, you know, they're running up the market, but people aren't renting it. Some people are moving in. My garage has been filling up downstairs with more motorbikes. So I think people that have a lot of money are saying, okay, I'll do it, which is usually how it goes. Now, I've been in areas before where housing was cheap and then just got expensive because all the landlords decided, hey, we'll just raise it and we'll just sit on it until it rents. You know, there was a point in Venice where you could get a 1-bedroom apartment for around $1,000 to $1,200. And then after a 3 to 5 year period of when Google put its stupid headquarters there for the little AR thing that never came out, and a bunch of other companies, Snapchat had their first headquarters there, right on the beach. Then after these tech giants moved in, and then they went to Playa as well, they opened up a bunch in Playa. So once they started opening up this tech stuff, the rent went from, you know, $1,200 for an apartment to $2,000 for an apartment. Almost 2x, you know, almost doubled in price. Other apartments that were like, say an apartment on the beach that was $1,500 went all the way up to $3,300. You're talking double and some. And people rent it. And that's probably what's going to happen. Is it an overpriced market? Probably, but I think there'll be enough people to rent them. You know, what people have to realize is everybody living in Vietnam isn't some cheap dude that wants to spend only $10 million a month and is proud to barely spend $100 a week and all this nonsense, and is living here essentially on a tourist visa. Like, not everybody is doing that when they come here. A lot of people get a lot of good jobs. I know plenty of people with phenomenal jobs where, you know, their job pays for their housing, pays for all kinds of stuff, and they're able to get nice, expensive housing. Not to mention the entrepreneurs that set up here, they also have money, so they can get good housing. Now, if you're a guy that likes to be cheap, I'm not shitting on you. I'm just giving you the facts here. If you like to be cheap and you don't want to pay much for stuff and you like living on a budget and Cheap Charlie and around is your thing, more power to you. I got no problem with that. But I do think it's getting a little out of hand. And only out of hand in desirable areas is the key word. There is guaranteed going to be somebody that comments on here that, well, rent's still cheap in District 9. District 9 is a legit suburb, like in a far out there suburb. It's actually considered its own city now, through Duck. It's not even Saigon technically anymore. And that's because it's so far away. And more power to you. If you want to live in District 9 and be way out there and you don't need to have access to shit and that's your jam, more power to you again. I absolutely with you. Like, love it. I'm all about it. Now there are some better desirable areas in District 9 on like the D2 border where you can get access to all like Thowden and all that stuff pretty quickly, which I guess could make it a little bit more desirable, but those places are out there, man. As far as like desirable areas and desirable apartments, there's not a whole lot of inventory of that. You know, District 1 is really Golden River and a few other, like 2 other buildings, and one other building's like rent starts at like $2,000. And District 3 has all these great apartments, but again, the rent there starts at like $3,000, $2,000, $2,500, and that's insane. That you're talking LA prices and in Saigon, it doesn't match, you know. The hair doesn't match the curtains, or however that's said. It just doesn't match. Like, that kind of pricing isn't matching what's offered. It's just a kind of a sense of greed across the board, and then people that are actually willing to sign up for it and pay for it. So the market kind of drives itself in that way. You know, we said the same thing when we were in Venice. We were like, nobody's going to pay this. Like, I was in a building, we got in a whole fight with the building guy because people were Airbnb-ing. You know, it was a whole thing. We never thought it would happen, but it happens, and it's going to happen here, you know. I would say if you want to live in a desirable area and you want a nice apartment, lock in a 2-year lease now, because it's either going to just keep going up or it'll go back down. But I think the percentages of the rent going back down is very slim. I think it's just going to continue to go up. If they do, for some reason, provide some kind of better visa situation in the upcoming year, it's going to make it explode even more. But like I said, there's a counterclaim to that, as you know, there's a lot of inventory at Golden River right now because they're reaching for the sky. They're wanting some insane price for apartments, and they're just simply not worth it. And people that are tending to move there probably already looked at it and saw what prices were, heck, even just 6 months ago, and now you're seeing that up 20-30%. It's getting hard to justify paying that. I'm not going to live there anymore. I'm not going to pay this landlady the more money she wants. It's absolutely insane. She can sit on that shit and try to re-rent it out and make her $50 to $100 extra that she wants. To me, there's a principle behind it, and I can just find somewhere else to live. I'm not beholden to one place. I'm not beholden to anything except my wife. But like, as far as living somewhere, I can live all over. I still want to live in a desirable location, of course, and a nice desirable apartment. But as far as like District 4, which I've been looking up the prices there, we're going to be doing a bunch of apartment tours on the channel, so don't worry. I think we kick it off tomorrow. We start looking at stuff. But District 4 prices are pretty much the same. Millennium is the same price. All those buildings are the same. They haven't really moved in price at all. They're about the same. But again, District 4 isn't as desirable as District 1. It's a tremendous location on the river. It just still adds a little bit more time of walking around. It adds a little bit more to your day to get access to stuff here. That's why Golden River is so well liked. You can walk to a lot of places, or you can jump on your scooter like 90% of people do and just drive somewhere really, really fast. That's why I don't like D2, and I would never live in D2. There's nothing anyone's ever going to tell me to convince me to live in D2. It's out there. You're kind of locked into that area. You're not really going anywhere else unless you want to drive around your motorbike for a half hour. So for me, that's out. You know, I'm a guy that likes to walk. I want to be in the center of a city in the hopping area, and that's where this is. And we might live in D7. We like this apartment in District 7 a lot. Super affordable. Like I said, my buddy Joe and his wife Karen live out there, so It'd be nice to be living by some friends. We can have dinner and hang out and talk and all that stuff. He's a really cool guy from Singapore. He's the coolest of cool guys. So cool. It'd be so cool to live next to him. So I think it is slightly overpriced right now. I think it's trying to hit the top right now. I think essentially probably what's going to happen is a lot of these super overpriced apartments are going to sit on the market for a long time. Somebody's going to come around, look at it, offer, you know, pretty much 20-30% off, and they're going to take the deal because they're going to be tired of losing the monthly income. You have to look at this stuff when you're a property owner. You know, if you're on an empty apartment for just 3 months out of the year, especially if you've got a mortgage to pay, you're absolutely wrecked. Now, the only people that really don't give a shit about that are people that have bought it outright. So they had the cash to just buy the whole unit outright. So they don't give a shit. They've already paid for it. They're just as prideful. They'll be like, fuck it, I think it's worth this. I'll just let this effort sit. Like, there's an apartment on my floor that's been vacant for 3 years. It used to be rented. I think the person just wants a lot of money for it, so it just sits there. And when you got an apartment sitting that long, things go bad. And no one's going in there and turning the water on. Like, they're not doing any kind of maintenance on it. So, I mean, there's going to be all kinds of problems with that unit probably once it goes turnkey again. Shit's going to need fixed. It's just not a good idea. I got to switch batteries. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. It is fixing to rain like nobody's business, which is going to suck. So I think there's really still affordable apartments that you can find. It's not all expensive. If you don't care about being in a hot district or in a desirable apartment, District 2 has loads of apartments, pretty same price. I think they had a slight shift from like 12, 13 million to 14, 15 million. But there's still lots of stuff you can find. And I'm sure you can still find a good opportunity in Golden River. I have access to a tremendous amount of apartments in Golden River. There are some absolutely fantastic ones in there. So if you do want to rent an apartment at Golden River or Central Park or in District 4 on the river there, just drop me an email, confirm your identity, and I'll have the agents contact you on Zillow. And then just keep me updated on emails that they're replying to you. Like if I tell you they're gonna hit you up and they don't, let me know within 4 hours or so, and we'll get on it. Starting to rain. The long bar is filling up. People sitting outside. That's not going to end well. Everybody's going to be sitting inside. It is fixing to rain. That is the end of the video. Can't do any more as it is beginning to rain. I got to shuttle over to my bike and put my rain stuff on. So that's the video, guys. I gave you my opinions and thoughts. Let me know your opinion and thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Stay frosty. See you on the next one. Peace out.